Billy continues to infect the show with his fantasy baseball team that nobody but him and Mike Schur care about. If you want to consume what it is that Mike Schur has to say about opening day and baseball in general, he does a great podcast, The Pozcast with Joe Posnanski. They really know baseball in a way that's unhealthy and uncomfortable and a bit terrifying. Like, they care about it. What are the things in the world that you care about as much as baseball, Mike? You have a lot of different interests, but where does baseball rank if you were making a top 5 of things that that Mike Schur cannot live without in entertainment?
Well, to be clear, first of all, I do not care about Billy's fantasy team. I just want to make that clear right off the bat.
You were just being nice?
I wasn't even being nice.
Well, you said he made a good pick. You engaged him in conversation, and I'm afraid that anyone engages in Billy in conversation about his fantasy league, what you're going to get unspooled is one of the most uninteresting things you've ever heard.
Yeah, that's probably right. So you're asking what are the top 5 things I care about in entertainment?
Yeah.
Is that what the question is?
Well, if baseball, how high is baseball on the list? And opening day is still a big deal to you, is it not? It matters to you in a way it doesn't matter to the country.
Yes, opening day and also days 2 through 162 matter to me in a way that it doesn't matter to the country. I mean, baseball and the NBA are 1, 2 probably. And then, 3 is probably the television writing industry.
4 is your kids.
4, I'd say 5 is my kids.
4 is me.
Or Jimmy Butler.
4 is just the general health and flourishing of Meadowlark Media Entertainment LLC.
Shucks.
Nice.
We made the top 5.
That is so nice. But well behind baseball and opening day, do you have, what is your connection to this? Where did it start? How does the way you love this thing is deeply weird.
I don't think it's that weird, man. You always talk about how weird it is. I love baseball because when I was 5, my dad took me to Fenway and I saw a baseball game and I had that light clicked on that clicks on for some people and doesn't for other people, where I just fell in love with it. And I got a bunch of baseball cards and I cared about them and put them in plastic sheets and obsessed over them. I became a Red Sox fan, and the Red Sox were a tortured franchise at the time. And so I got very invested in the narrative of the Red Sox, and it just became the sport that I loved. And I loved the NBA too. I love football. Football has faded over time. I still care about it, but not nearly as much. My NBA fandom has waxed and waned. It is currently waxing significantly, in the last 5 years, partly because of my son also loving basketball. But baseball has just been the steadiest thing in my life, the steadiest love of my life, I would say, from the time I'm 47, so it's more than 4 decades now. It's just been the thing that I cared about the most. I don't know why it has to be weird in your mind.
I'll tell you why it's weird. Because Billy loves it too. But I'll tell you why it's weird. Because, and I'm not the only one getting these from you, it is deeply strange that the 4th inning of a Royals game somewhere, you're showing me a 2-1 pitch to someone you're texting it to people that's not in the strike zone, and some umpire said it was in the strike zone, and you care about the weeds and the deep dives on the minutia here. No one I've ever met, in fact, because you care about game 45 over here that the Yankees are playing, and somebody somebody didn't call a ball a strike in the 7th inning.
But soon that's all we're going to have left is that and Joey Chestnut. I'm telling you.
You're very worked up about this. You're very angry.
I don't like Summers.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, not used to. Dan is very angry at me.
It's deeply
He's very
weird.
Yelling.
It's weird.
Is it weirder than my love of the Boston Celtics and hatred of the Miami Heat?
Yes.
You think so?
Yeah.
But why?
You think that my complaining about Jimmy Butler's free throw attempts in game 37 against the Milwaukee Bucks is less weird than me caring about it?
Spring training is weirder than spring training notes.
What he's just done is it weird that I have 24 fingers, or is it weirder that I have 24 toes? What do you? They're both weird.
That's right. That's my point. I don't think it's weirder than other things about me that are weird. Because the Red Sox were a tortured franchise, and because the Yankees big brothered them decade after decade, year after year, game after game for my entire childhood, I have an unhealthy relationship to both love of the Red Sox and hatred of the Yankees. And so I obsessively care about and follow the day-to-day, pitch-by-pitch rises and falls of those franchises. And it really annoys me when things break the right. It really annoys me when the Yankees signed Matt Carpenter, who is basically out of baseball after falling apart with the Cardinals. He joins the Yankees and becomes Barry Bonds for 3 months. That still makes me really annoyed because I have lived my whole life in a world where everything seems to work out for them and nothing works out for my team. Now, things have worked out really well for my team since 2004. And so the actual legitimate natural question is, why do you still care about this when your team has won so much? That I cannot answer. That is just like, it's just psychological, deeply ingrained psychological abuse perpetrated on me by the New York Yankees that will apparently never leave me, because the Red Sox have won 4 World Series in the last 20 years, and it still burns me. It still like chafes my hide every time something breaks right for the Yankees.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
For the Red Sox.
And I'm the enraged one. I'm the enraged one. And
But
now
why
we got
is he on trial? I don't understand why he has
Thank
to
you.
defend himself. He did
Yeah.
this to me earlier, like, why are you so excited about opening day? It's like, because it's the start of the season. It's exciting. Bunting.
I'm sorry
That's
I
why.
like something. I'm sorry I have
Yeah.
passion for
sorry
something.
we
Excuse
care about
me.
things, robot
Excuse
Dan.
me for living.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Come on.
Man,
We have reached a really, really unreasonable place in Mike Schur's rage when he has accused me of chafing his hide.
He's doing an uprising here. He's rallying all the troops.
I'm just sitting here. I'm doing nothing. I was sitting here. I zoomed into your little show to do my daily stat of the
with the
day,
little show.
and I get attacked.
Again with
Why
the
do I
little
get
show.
attacked?
Mike,
What did I
happy.
do to
Jackson,
deserve
wow.
this?
You're happy. That's what you did. You're happy. You
Yeah,
learned something.
that's right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Stu. I'm happy and I enjoy my life and I have passion for things. I'm so sorry, Dan. I'll try to be dispassionate about sports and not have any opinions or care at all about anything that happens in any game and any sport for the rest of time. Will that make you happy? Can I be reasonable? Will that make me more reasonable as a person?
It is a little weird sometimes, though, when, like, in the morning, the first text you see, like, because you wake up to something you sent at, like, 2 a.m. Eastern, and it's an Umpire scorecard website.
It's it's unbelievable. I don't know how he has.
It's awesome.
I don't know how he has the time
It's
as
a
a
screenshot
functioning adult
and a
male.
circle around it. Yeah.
I thought that George Clinton, as an active crack smoker, was the most amazing thing in entertainment, having the brain power to be able to do crack and also perform. But your ability to write hit television shows and also care about what happened in the 6th inning of an Orioles game.
You accuse Roy of having a closet of worthless information. Where the hell did that come from?
There was a day last season where I woke up to a text from Mike, and it was a picture of an umpire scorecard, and he's like, I have never seen this before. A perfect game by an umpire. It's more uncommon than perfect games by pitchers.
Yeah, it's like 108 correctly called balls and strikes over the course of the whole game. I was so proud of
I
that guy.
love that. That is amazing.
It's weird. It's deeply,
We should be praising the
It's
umps.
deeply
Yes.
weird, though.
Yes.
And TSA agents.
Yes, and uniforms. And we should be hiring uniform makers so that we have a channel that's just praising the umps and celebrating uniforms. What the hell's going on around here? Nothing but weirdness. Let's do our stat of the day.
Start of the day, start of the day, it is your start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day, it is your start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day, it is your start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day, it is your start of the day.
Thank you for turning on original sound so we could hear the music.
you got it.
Billy, before I do this, did you see the thing the other day where JT Real Muto put his glove back to get the ball from the ump? And then he thought that the ump, on the pitch before, the ump had just thrown the ball directly to the pitcher. So Real Muto put his glove back without looking, didn't get the ball, and then put his glove down because he thought the ump was going to throw the ball right back to the pitcher. But
Yeah.
the ump tried to put the ball in his glove, and then the ump ejected him.
Yeah, because he got so mad at him. And there's no going back from that after you do that.
No, yeah, I know. And Real Muto was like, I thought you threw it back to the pitcher, but it's too late. You can't, as an ump, you can't go like, oh, sorry, never mind, you're not thrown out.
We were arguing because JT is like one of the most mild-mannered players in Major League Baseball. I don't think he's ever been thrown out. If he has, maybe once. We were joking that he did JT a favor and that JT may have been in on it and was asking like, I don't want to be in the spring training game anymore.
Just get me out of here.
Exactly, yeah.
Amin, now, sorry, diversion number 2 before start of the day. Do you remember the thing where I think it was Doc Rivers wanted to watch the Masters with Steve Kerr? It was like the final round of the Masters, and he tried to get thrown out of a game, and the ref knew what he was doing and was like, I'm not doing it, man. I'm not throwing you out. Do you remember this?
I always thought that was an urban legend, that's not actually what happened. But yes, I remember the story.
It's fantastic. I love that so much. He tried so hard. All right, here we go. Congrats to Draymond Green.
Thank you for getting around to the stat, by the way. Appreciate you finally getting around to it.
You spent like 8 minutes attacking me for no reason. I can make a couple versions before.
Yeah.
Dan, I just wanted to watch Tiger. He's right.
It's one of your most underrated impersonations.
It's the best one. I love that
you
one.
talking as
Great.
Doc
It's
Rivers.
great,
If you want to continue,
wonderful.
If you want to continue the press conference where we ask you how it is that story came to be, I'm happy to hear it.
It's not Blake's fault.
Let's hear the stat.
Congrats to Draymond Green of the Golden State Warriors, 20th all-time in technical fouls. He picked up his 137th career tech last night. But the stat of the day is actually a trivia question I'll pose to all of you. Mm-hmm. How many of the top 10 all-time technical foul accumulators can you name? This is according to interbasket.net, which is the definitive source of the list of technical fouls in history. Top 10 all-time.
I'll give you number 1, and you guys can take it from there.
It's got to be Rasheed.
It's Rasheed Wallace. He also has the record for the most in one season, 41. The reason why we have the rule where after 15 you get suspended every other game is because Rasheed had won every other game for an entire season.
It is not Rasheed Wallace.
What?
According
Wow.
to
Wow.
Rasheed Wallace is number 3 all-time with 317. Although I did, in researching this, I did learn something amazing, which is that if you go on the Basketball Reference website and search for the term technical fouls, it redirects you to Rasheed Wallace's page.
That's awesome.
And
Sheed.
I think it's like I think it's an inside joke because I don't think the words technical fouls appear on his page anywhere. They might, but I don't think they do. I think it's just like the people who run that site enjoying themselves and having fun. But no, Rasheed is number 3 at 317.
Huh.
How many of the top 10 can you name? Anyone?
Lambier has to be in there now.
Man, I'm going to have a hard time coming up with it. When I do word association, technical fouls in basketball, it's Rasheed's face that comes up for me and no one else.
Oh, 2 more names. Charles Barkley,
Rodman.
Charles Oakley, and Rodman.
Rodman's a good one.
Charles Barkley, number 2, 329. Rodman, number 5, 212.
No
Worm.
Oakley?
Oakley, not in the top 10.
Wow.
Number 1, you're saying there's someone who has gotten more technical fouls than Draymond, Charles Barkley, and Rasheed Wallace.
Let's think about this.
Draymond's only top 20. Like, Draymond is, he's got a long way to go. I think he can get there.
Duncan Robinson?
Shaq?
Duncan Robinson.
Not in the top 10.
The big fella. The big Aristotle.
By the way, this is going to be a Stugotz nickname bonanza.
Let's do it. Let's just do it from the bottom to the top. Number 10, get the fanfare ready. Executive producer Billy Gill. Number 10,
Kevin Garnett.
Oh, the big ticket.
Number 9,
Dwight Howard.
Really?
Superman. Number 8,
Russell Westbrook.
Russ.
Number 7,
Anthony Mason.
Oh.
Mace.
R.I.P.
Number 6,
Dirk Nowitzki.
No!
Dirk.
Upset.
Number 5,
Dennis Rodman.
Worm.
Number 4,
Gary Payton.
Ah, the glove.
3,
Rasheed Wallace.
Sheed.
2,
Charles Barkley.
The round mound of rebound.
and now number 1. That's going to be a shock to me and Amin. Number 1,
Karl Malone.
Get off my plane.
The mailman.
Thank you, Mike. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Dirk had more
Bye.
technicals than KG?
Stunner.
In what world?
According to interbasket.net, yes.
Mike, I am going to leave here a list for Dan. Okay, it is top. I will not be here. Top 5 opening day starters that put a smile on your face, but also make you scratch your head. Okay,
That's a good list.
Wow.
it's great. I'm going to leave it.
I made my top 5 double play combos of all time list. We can do that tomorrow. I
Nope.
guess.
We're going to do both of them right now.
Oh, wow.
We're going to do both of them right this
shit.
minute. We're going to top 5 opening day starters who make you smile and scratch your head.
Scratch your head because how could that guy be an opening day starter?
Number 5.
Kyle Loesch.
Number 4.
He took on in that game. Number 4, Kyle Kendrick.
Really?
Couple of Kyles cutting it up.
Holy shit, that's a bad baseball game. That's a bad way for everyone to start their season. Number 3.
Rough opening day.
Omar Dahl.
Number 2.
Marlins opening day starter. I don't know what year, but it was Mark Hendrickson.
Marlins have a couple here. Don't they? Did Volstead open? Did he open? Did he
yeah.
open? No, did he? I'm not sure.
yeah.
Number 1.
Kit Wells.
That's a good one. It's a great list. What? And now, because yesterday you came on here and told Mike Schur that you wanted to do double play lists, double play combinations.
Yeah.
Good ones or stinky ones or just
Just
memorable
To
double
ones?
make you smile.
That make you smile. Everything's about making you smile. We like to be happy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number 5, Mike Schur.
Jose Vidro and Orlando Cabrera.
Oh, Jesus.
A vigorous nod from Roy. Number 4.
Marcus Giles and Rafael Furcal.
Just who it is, huh?
I'm surprised. I didn't know that you had one. I thought my bad. Number 5, Stugotz.
Tony Bernazard and Bill Almond.
Number 4.
I'm done.
That's not a
that's
person.
it. No.
Bill Almond, hold on. Bill Almond
Almond
from
is.
my hometown of West Hartford, Connecticut, the pride of West Hartford, Connecticut. There was like a parade for him. I think he won a ring one year. We had a parade for him in my town.
There are people from West Hartford?
Yeah, me.
I thought it was just ESPN employees.
Elbow room.
Number 4, Stugotz.
Phil Gardner and Tim Foley.
I didn't hear your number 4 correctly because Stugotz was trying to get in with his number 5.
Sorry.
Marcus Giles and Rafael Furcal.
Holy shit.
Number 3, Stugotz.
Glenn Hubbard and Rafael Ramirez.
That was my number 2.
Oh my God, I stole it. Yes.
So stupid. Jessica's groaning at another way you guys have snuck in here with your shitty lists.
It's baseball season, though.
Number 3, Mike Schur.
Jimmy Rollins and Chase Utley.
Pretty good.
Are you going to both have the same number 1? I think you are. Number 2.
Manny Trio and Larry Boa.
You already got Mike Schur's number 2. So number 1, Stugotz.
Frank White and UL Washington.
Wow.
Frank White,
Yeah.
who wasn't white.
No.
UL Washington, who also wasn't white.
Definitely. Yeah. Toothpick.
We will get to Jeremy Tachey's top 5 whites in a second.
Oh, wow. What an exciting day.
What an exciting.
Frank better be on there.
Top 5 whites just in general?
Yes, and we will also get to Jeremy Tachey's top 5 coolest Jews as well. We're going to do both of those very quickly. But number 1, Mike Schur, the number 1 double play combination that makes you smile is?
Lou Whitaker and Alan Trammell.
That's
Damn
the
it.
one. Yeah, that is the one. For all time.
That's great.
Tony has no respect for anything.
Who is that? Like what team? What
The
year?
Tigers. Dude.
The Tigers, it's one of the great teams of all time. They
What
started
year?
out like
What was that,
84,
84?
35, and
80,
5.
1984?
I have a
Yeah, the
confession.
champions.
Yes.
They were the
Oh,
champions that year, I
please.
believe, right?
I have a confession. While you guys were doing top 5, whatever, me and Tony were doing top 5 places in West Hartford to go out.
Great
All right,
list.
We'll get to that in a second. But first, top 5 whites according
You
to
got 5?
Jeremy Tachey. Number 5, Jeremy.
Jaleel White.
Number 4.
Barry White.
Nice.
Number 3.
Jack White, because I feel like Mike wouldn't let me
Number
do the show without it.
2.
Number 2, Betty White.
Yeah.
And number 1.
Benny Blanco.
Nice. From the Bronx.
Top 5 coolest Jews, according to Jeremy Taché. Number 5.
I do have to do a quick preface here that this list is as a result of Jonah Hill curing Kanye West's anti-Semitism over the weekend. I watched 21 Jump Street in honor. So this is the Jonah Hill Memorial coolest Jews list.
still with
Excellent. Yeah.
Still with us.
$50. Important context.
Important
Save them from a
context. It's
$50. You
important.
can just Venmo me that.
Okay.
What,
OLI,
you?
the
Venmo
Beastie
you?
Boys.
Why is he Venmoing you?
I saved him. I said he's still with us.
Keep the fine jar away. Don't put it near Tony. He's a grifter. Number 4.
Well, that was OLI, another OLI. Jerry Judy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Friends do call him Jew. Number 5, Jeff Goldblum. Number 4, Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
RBG.
Number 3, Paul Rudd. Number 2, Henry Winkler. The Fonz.
A pretty male list you have.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
That's one person.
I was gonna have Haim on the OLI. I'm doing my best. Number 1, Lenny Kravitz.
Nice.
His name is Leonard Kravitz. Leonard Kravitz, and that's who he is.
His name's John Wiener. You
John
didn't have him on your list?
Leonard Kravitz.
Oh, AJ Dillon.
Yeah, where's Juju Gotti on the list of coolest Jews?
Exactly.
All right.
Juju Smith-Schuster.
Snubbed.
Good shot.
Tariq Cohen.
He is hurting.
Anthony Schwartz.
What's happening is anti-Semitic right now. I'm Jewish. I can do this. Pulling
It's
a
his
card.
list. It's his list.
It's my list.
Also sexist.
Top 5.
Natalie Portman could have made the list.
Rod Carew as well. Top 5. Yes, that would
He
only
converted,
be one of the lists.
Yeah.
Top 5
Rod Carew.
best things to do in West Hartford.
Well, number 5, Blueback Square.
I love Blueback Square. The World of Beer there is great.
Tony, do you know who the Fonz is?
Yeah. Didn't he jump a shark, right?
Yeah.
He was like 40 in high school, right?
All you need to know. Yeah.
Right?
He
That's what it
He was.
Very bad
He
student,
was.
yeah.
I only asked because Whitaker and Trammell were of that time.
I don't know.
Okay.
Whitaker
very
and Trammell's, down my pay grade. They never did. I don't even know what that means, by the way. Did they actually jump a shark like on skis?
Yes. What?
Yes.
No, they robbed him.
Yeah.
Not only did he jump a shark on skis, the Fonz, the coolest man on television, did so at the beach water skiing while wearing a leather jacket.
Can't take it off.
Hey, man, have you ever watched that episode?
What show is that again?
Certainly not.
Happy Days.
Happy days.
Happy days.
What show is that?
Dan hates
Oh, no.
Happy Days.
Yeah, those days weren't exactly happy.
I'm watching it right now on YouTube. He's in a water ski with a jacket on.
He did, and he was the coolest. He was the coolest. Yes, that's
I'm
why.
telling you.
That's where the phrase came from, because the show no longer became cool when the coolest guy on it was jumping a shark in a leather
Dude, he
jacket.
flew like 60 feet
Yo,
in the air.
If you're listening to this, stop, pause it, go to YouTube, look up Fonz Jump the Shark
I
Man.
had no idea.
It's
So
worth
good.
it. Yeah.
It's like
so
Willis
good.
Reed only scoring 2 points or whatever. I didn't know.
Also, look up Trammell and Whitaker while you're at it. I mean,
Number 4,
The aforementioned World of Beer.
Number 3.
Bar Taco.
Great place.
Number 2.
Barcelona's.
This is the worst top 5 we've ever done.
Well, Jessica
Easily.
thinks
Get the number
Jessica
one.
thinks all of them are. Like all of these in this segment where we're doing baseball nonsense. This is how she feels, sure, when you're doing your lists.
Jeremy did top Jews and didn't even mention Jesus.
Amen. Amen to that.
His list, though.
well,
It was cool. It was coolest Jews, to be fair. It was coolest.
Are you saying Jesus is a square?
Are you willing to say that publicly? That Jesus was not cool? That's where you want to go with
Classic
this?
Hollywood elite.
Unbelievable liberal. Where are we with you in the world's worst top
This
5?
is the number
This is
one
not the
favorite
world's worst
place
top
of
5
Amin
list.
and Tony to visit when they're in West Hartford.
The whole segment is you saying things we haven't heard of, and Tony saying, "I love that place."
We had some times at that place.
Number one, everyone who's worked for ESPN, who's been in Connecticut, has been to this place at least once. Elbow Room.
Ah, the elbow room.
Oh, they have one of those there?
Oh, my God. Do they have one? Right there in that main strip. You know it, right, Mike?
Amin, go ahead and sit in the penalty box.
Jesus.
Oh,
Come on, Dan. That's a great list. Dan, have you ever been to West
Wow.
Hartford?
That karaoke
Yes,
bar's
I've
there?
been to West Hartford.
Which one of those have you been to? Because there's only 4 spots. Those are them.
The
Can I give you the top 5 places in West Hartford from when I lived there from
Yeah, man.
1980 to 1993?
Let's kill time. Yeah, sure.
I don't.
Yeah, we don't have anything better to do.
We have to start respecting the penalty box. I don't need extra commentary from you leaving the room. Billy wants to do the top 5.
Well, hold
He's in
on.
charge
Mike Schur's
today.
not going to give us now his top 5
I know.
places in a city that he grew up
I
in
know.
from 30 years
Yes.
ago.
This is where Billy likes to be.
Yes,
Dan.
it is why Billy can't be put in charge of these things. You know what?
This isn't on me.
You're going to send him to the
no,
penalty
it's-
box, aren't
What do you mean it's not on you? You said, yes, I'm dying to hear something that you know is going to be stink. You know
Get
it's
off
not.
my plane.
Fine. Number 5.
Just to be clear, the point of this is that none of those places were around when I was there. It was a sleepy little town. It was like ESPN was new. There was no restaurants,
You know
no
what?
bars, nothing. It was just a tiny little
ESPN
crappy
was
town in
new.
Connecticut. So number
What year was
number
this?
5 place in West Hartford, growing up from 1980 to 1993, CVS.
Nice.
60
You
years
need
ago.
one of those. Yeah.
And this is terrible. Number 4.
There was a German restaurant called Edelweiss where everybody smoked cigarettes inside.
Oh,
Number 3.
heaven.
There was a record store called Record Express.
Number 2.
There was a Hallmark store that used to sell cool pins.
Nice.
I miss Hallmark
Nice.
stores.
Put it on the poll, Juju. Do you miss Hallmark stores? Number 1.
Baskin Robbins.
Ah, 31 flavors.
Mike Schur, go sit in the penalty box.
Oh, Jesus.
You go right now. Sit in the penalty box. Get out of here. Billy, you go sit in the penalty box.
Whoa.
For encouraging that.
It's not fair.
Roy, you go sit in the penalty box
My
with them.
God.
Enough.
Jesus.
Enough.
Roy didn't say anything.
You guys, Kip Wells.
That was good.
Stugotz, we usually don't gather around at night to do interviews, but you, me, and Jessica heard that Russell Crowe was available. He only became available because Jessica was so excited about this movie, The Pope's Exorcist, that the people around Russell Crowe heard about her enthusiasm and said, let's get him on the show. But he was joining us from Australia. It was at night. And I'm just going to say, we're going to play it for you next week. They've asked us to hold it. But without spoiling too much of it, the whole experience was odd.
Yeah. Organized, but odd. You're right. Yeah.
We got on a Zoom with 12 people from the studio, and then they sent us to another Zoom where we waited for Russell Crowe, but we were in a waiting room, and so we didn't know when he was coming, and we were supposed to do the interview at 7, and he wasn't ready until 7:30. So by the time we started, we were all super rattled, I think.
Yes.
And Dan had a historically bizarre interview, according to Valerie.
Wow.
Wait a second. You guys, so they treated the Zooms like actual physical rooms where you walk into a room and wait here and then someone will take you to
Exactly.
another room?
We started in one room, okay, with his publicist, with some other people.
No, I've
We
got
don't even know who the people
I've
were.
got to explain. I've got
I
to
didn't.
explain this because it was a labyrinth. It was a labyrinth
Of Zoom rooms.
It was startling the number of handlers. There were a lot of people in a room for us being allowed to talk to Russell Crowe for a few minutes.
Yes.
And the whole thing was disorienting. It's not an excuse. I was terrible, because
I didn't think you were that bad. I didn't even consider that you were bad until after you said Valerie said you were bad, and then I was like, well, I usually agree with Valerie.
I considered it. I did because you were bad, and then I was wondering, Dan, this was strange to me. Like, did you get a haircut and did you do your hair? Did you get dressed up for Russell Crowe? Because you look great. You really did. I was wearing the same thing I wore, the entire day.
I literally had just gotten home from a haircut when we started that. I did get a haircut for Russell Crowe.
Really?
Frauds.
Well, no, Russell. Well, first of all, Russell Crowe.
They were dressed up. I mean,
was he dressed up?
I was not dressed up.
His hair looked great.
I was simply not wearing a hat. That's all.
Yeah, but every hair was in place.
That's dressed up, though,
okay,
Dan.
fine.
Dressed up for you.
But that's all it was. Is I was not wearing a hat. I wasn't
was
dressed
jarring.
up.
I know you pretty well.
Was your hair
I've never
combed?
seen you like
You
that.
had a
It was
hat on.
combed.
At your wedding, you were wearing a hat. Was your hair combed?
Stugotz.
I had showered, and so my hair was wet. Is all that was happening.
But you showered for the Russell Crowe interview,
I
right?
showered
Yeah, you had to
because
be clean,
people
yeah.
shower at night when coming home from work, and you're wearing the same thing you were wearing 6 hours earlier.
Do you guys shower after you get home from doing the show?
No.
I feel like it
That's
sometimes.
just a you thing, Dan.
Okay, it was a nighttime
You did it for
shower.
Russell.
Okay,
I mean,
It's fine. Yeah.
Okay, you know what? You got me.
right,
I
thank you.
showered for Russell
Jess
Crowe.
got her hair done.
Just got her hair done
I
for
will
Russell
say,
Crowe.
Russell Crowe, he has a reputation, right, in Hollywood. He's been around for decades. He's gotten in some like pretty public tiffs, altercations, whatever you want to call them.
nice way
He was perfectly lovely and very friendly and nice to us.
Yes.
I was actually very surprised.
Maybe that's why 12 people were on the call to make sure nothing went awry.
I mean,
He's walked out on interviews before.
I have never
apparently.
seen anything like this. 12 people just to get us to another room where Russell
Zoom.
Crowe was a half hour late, by the way.
It's like they didn't want you guys to access, maybe share that link to your friends and stuff.
Yes, I think it's like 7 layers of security, and maybe they only need like 2, but it was pretty wild.
See, I'm the type of asshole who would have asked each person what they do. Because I need to know who are these 12 people on the call.
I just want to explain to people how the labyrinth worked.
Sorry for cursing.
To be so close to this Hollywood person. It's not just merely that we had to go to different places. It's that they had all the controls of who can communicate with each other. And what ended up happening is Jessica, Stugotz, and I were separated and spent more than a half hour staring at a white slate in a room that made me text them saying, you guys do realize this is a psychological experiment, and there are 3 journalists still holding to interview him for Gladiator. Like, they're trying to test.
How long will we wait?
How long will we sit
Virtuosity.
alone staring
Wild.
at a white screen with no one communicating with us before people just trickle out and leave because we've been here so long.
So we were supposed to start at, I believe, 7 p.m. Eastern. He greeted us by saying good morning, by the way.
I mean, it's morning time for him.
It
Which was
right?
that was an alpha move.
It threw
I was
me
like,
off.
Wow, yeah, I'm super thrown now.
I set
I'm ready
the.
to go to bed. It's past my bedtime.
It was weird. I set the over under at 8 o'clock, to which what time he would show up. He showed up a half hour earlier than that.
There you go.
But there was a time at around 6:45 where I dare ask, hey, can I get up for a second? I need some water. They were like, no!
12 people. No, he could appear at any moment.
You never know when Russell's going to show up. I'm like, yeah, I know when he's going to show
Stugotz
up.
is just like water. Just a drink
Real quick. When we went to go see Air, we were sitting there waiting for it to get started. I said, all right, I'm going to go to the bathroom. They wouldn't let me go to the bathroom because Marlon Wayans is coming. I'm like, well, can I don't mind missing.
Marlon?
Yeah, Marlon's in the movie, and he was talking.
That's what you were holding up, Marlon?
That they were holding. They stopped me from going to pee.
This is a lot of work for Russell Crowe. I mean, it's not like this is Mr. Beast or something.
How long were you willing to wait? Like, if he wasn't there at 8 o'clock, are you gone?
I was panicked that you guys would both just leave, and I would be doing it solo, and I would end up singing Les Mis with him or something.
It's funny. I was panicked you two were going to leave, and it would just be me and Russell, Crowe or no. So, how about that?
Wait, hold, so maybe this was the test. Like it was a test to see if the 3 of you would turn. This is like you were in a Saw movie. Like, are you guys going to turn on each other before you get to Russell?
I so enjoyed this part of it. Unfortunately, they controlled everything. They had all the audio. So I was asking them for audio that would have been deeply embarrassing to me, but would have been really funny to the audience, which is when I was having trouble with the technology of everything I was doing, I turned my video off, but didn't turn my microphone off. So Jessica and Stugotz and everyone could hear me saying, Valerie, I don't know what the fuck is going on here. What do I need to...
I immediately repressed how awkward that was. Russell Crowe was saying hello to us, and I was like, Dan, you're on mute. Dan, you're on mute. I'm talking over Russell Crowe during. It was so bad.
But they controlled all the audio, and so I don't know
What
that
do you
we
mean
can
control the audio.
You can hit mute on your own.
No. I mean, I don't mean for the
that
mistake.
part was on him. Yes.
This part's on me. I'm talking about our ability to get it so people can understand why Jessica and Stugotz were laughing at me for turning off my video so that I would not have the embarrassment of Valerie come help me with this computer.
Wait, are you telling me they controlled your mic?
No, they no.
I'm just control the audio.
What I'm saying is the recording of it. We don't have access to the thing that embarrassed me, so that I could play it to the audience because
and that
they
wasn't
control
even the
everything.
part in the interview where I yelled, Dan, you're embarrassing me, for the record. That was something else.
Yeah.